everyone, I have your week 9 children's craft, and this is our last craft of our summer reading program. It's not so much a craft as it is a hands-on, more science experiment, but we thought it would be a lot of fun to end the program with this. There's a few ingredients, a few things you'll need from home. If you got your July activity bag, you will find the instructions in there, and that talks about everything you'll need and the directions so you can follow that, or I'll do this on camera too so you can follow along with me here. Attached to this sheet is an item that you'll need for this that maybe you don't have at home, so we thought it would be fun to include, and it's a little packet of yeast. So besides the packet of yeast, you'll also need some hydrogen peroxide. I have some here. You'll need some dish soap, just a little, and it doesn't matter what kind. You'll also need a couple measuring tools. You'll need a half measuring cup and a tablespoon. And this is something that if you don't have those exact measuring tools, or even if you do, this could be an activity for older kids to work on and figure out how to measure those with different tools. So I have a couple measuring tools here with me today. We also need a container to put this in. So the instructions say you need a flask or a plastic bottle with a long neck. And why it says that is we're calling this toothpaste, and this is a plastic flask I have here. And because it has this shape of a neck, when the toothpaste comes out, it looks more like toothpaste. It comes out in kind of a tube shape. You can use a different kind of container. You can use a water bottle, something with a smaller opening. And as you see this reaction that we're going to with this experiment, you'll see that the bigger container might produce a slower reaction as opposed to if you use a smaller bottle, or an even smaller bottle than that. So if you have more yeast at home and you have enough ingredients to do this more than once, it'd be fun to try different containers and see how it changes. But keep in mind, if you're doing this in a big bowl, a big open bowl, it's going to puff up, but it's not going to come out of it the same way as it would a bottle with a smaller opening. So we have those. We also need a container to mix some things in, and if you have a funnel that you'd like to use, it might be easier if you have a smaller bottle like this that you're pouring things into, or a water bottle that might help the pouring process go a little smoother. And then an optional ingredient is food coloring. So I have a couple colors here that we can use, and that just adds some extra fun to it. So I think I'm going to use the smallest bottle of the 3, just because that's going to produce the fastest reaction. So what we are going to do is we're going to add all the different ingredients, and the yeast acts as a catalyst, and that catalyst speeds up the reaction. It breaks apart the oxygen from the hydrogen peroxide, and this happens very fast. It makes a lot of bubbles, and each of those tiny bubbles has oxygen in it. So you're going to see a foam produced, and that is full of lots of little bubbles filled with oxygen. And as those bubbles keep being created, it's going to push out of the bottle. So if it's a smaller bottle, it's going to happen faster. And since I want to make sure you see it while I do it, I'll use a smaller one. That way it'll happen faster. So our first step is to pour ½ cup of hydrogen peroxide into our bottle, and I have a 1/4 cup here, so I will need 2 of them. 2 quarters makes a half. So there's 1/4. There's the second 1/4, so that makes ½ a cup. And then we're going to take just a squirt of dish soap and drop it in there and swish it around. It's not a specific measurement, so we're just going to give it a squirt. We're going to swish it around carefully here, like we're mixing a potion. Now is when we add the food coloring. So I have blue and I have green. I don't know if you can see that, but I might just for fun drop a couple of each. So we have lots of color. It might make it easier for you guys to see there. And it's just fun, right? And now we're going to mix that up. Okay, so now I'm going to mix 2 tablespoons of warm water with 1 tablespoon of yeast. And the packet you got with your kit is 1 tablespoon exactly. So you can get your tablespoon right here. 2 tablespoons of warm water to this packet of yeast. and mix that up. So I just went and measured 2 tablespoons of warm water in this container. I'm going to open up our little baggie here and dump it in. And then you're just going to stir it together. And if there's some clumps, that is just fine, okay? So now I'm going to pour it in. And you'll see it's starting right away. And then do you see the foam coming out? I'll come a little closer. So we see our foam coming out there. And because it's a small opening, like I said, it forms that toothpaste look. So kind of cool, and you can tell it's a little green and blue. It's a little more muted than when it's just liquid. You'll see there's still some liquid down here, so it'll keep reacting. Whatever is left, you can just pour down the drain. It's perfectly safe. While this is called toothpaste, do not put it in your mouth. It's not safe for your mouth, but you can touch it. Just make sure you wash your hands afterwards. There's food coloring in it, so be careful that you don't stain anything. But hopefully you enjoyed this experiment. Like I said, if you have more of these ingredients, it would be super fun to try some different containers, try different things, and see how it changes up the results. That's always fun to see. So I hope you enjoyed this. Send us pictures. We would love to see your experiment at home, how your toothpaste turned out. So to do that, you can just reply to this post and attach your pictures there. Make sure you go on Beanstack and click that this activity is completed. It's almost the end of July, so you have until July 31st to do that. That's just a couple days away, so make sure you do that. And I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Bye.